This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Haley is off tonight. Hundreds dead in Haiti. The death toll there expected to rise, while at least 3 deaths in Florida are also being blamed on Hurricane Matthew. The storm slowly moving along the east coast of Florida over the past 24 hours. Georgia and the Carolinas now beginning to experience deteriorating conditions as well as the storm continues its march north. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has been witnessing this damage firsthand. She joined us from New Smyrna Beach with the latest.
Hi, good evening. Well, you could see Matthew left behind quite a mess, but the rain and the wind have really calmed here, yet the threat of the storm elsewhere still isn't over. Hurricane Matthew moving northward up the coast, now slamming parts of Georgia and the Carolinas.
The best thing now is to just hunker down, stay in a safe place, don't move, don't try and move around. Stern warnings after the storm claimed at least 4 lives in Florida and left behind a trail of damage. The ocean pouring over dunes in Jacksonville Beach, the flooding extending for blocks. In downtown St. Augustine, nearly 24 people, including children, were at one point trapped by the rising water around this bed and breakfast.
You guys doing okay?
Farther south, roads washed away, while wind gusts topping 100 miles an hour tore down power lines and trees.
We heard like a big boom, we've seen it come down.
In Haiti, utter devastation. The death toll officially at nearly 300, but by one account, it tops 800 and is rising. Meanwhile, Hurricane Matthew is weaker, yet 26,000 people in the Carolinas are heeding the warnings and taking no chances, riding the storm out in shelters. And tonight here in Florida, more than 1 million people are still without electricity. And in this community, some people are being told it could be another week before the lights are back on. Live in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News. Now back to you.
All right, Marcy, thank you so much. For the latest developments now on the storm, let's get in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, find out its latest track tonight. Bob?
Well, as Marcy said, it has weakened coming from the National Hurricane Center now. It is down to a 105-mile-an-hour storm, still strong enough to cause a lot of damage, but the good news is it's not looking nearly as impressive as it once was just about 12 hours ago. There's some exposure to the southeast as well as the northern portion of it is just one real band of storms. That's it. It's moving to the north at 12. The pressure at 948 millibars. That really hasn't come up all that much, but the news is some drier air is getting entrained in it. And here's the forecast path and track. There's a lot of again, disagreement with where it's going to go in about 3 days from now, but for the time being, it's pretty certain that it's heading toward Charleston. There's still a chance it may not make landfall, though. There's a little bit of a chance that it will and some that it won't. In order to make landfall, the actual center has to move into land, and at this point, it looks like they may get some eye wall there, and then it turns into a 1 as some shear grabs it, and also there's a chance that a cold front could merge with it and take it away, but there's also some very reliable models that keep it as a tropical storm and move it down south as high pressure builds around the top of it, and it looks like it could become just a remnant low in about 3 to 4 days. So we'll watch it closely. It doesn't appear that it's going to be much when it comes back down, but if it were, it would bring a little bit more moisture our way and possibly a little bit better chance for rain next week. But boy, it caused all sorts of headaches there in Jacksonville with a storm surge up to about 5 feet. In most cases, the highest storm surge they've ever had there in most cases because they don't get many storms in this particular area. And as we see the wind flow around it now starting to come offshore in Jacksonville, and that's always a good sign. That means that all the storm surge that was around will start to back off and head back into the Atlantic for the most part. It looks like this storm surge, though, will be a problem, a little bit more so, I think. If the storm holds together and moves toward Charleston, it could be a little higher just because of the angle at which the storm is approaching. And we were kind of parallel with it here, so not much water was wrapping around the system and moving on in. But with this kind of coast here and almost a 90-degree angle there, we're going to possibly see a little higher storm surge. We can see from the satellite imagery, it's not nearly as organized as it once was. And looks like Charleston, Savannah, Brunswick getting some very heavy rainfall and tropical storm force winds at this point. I mentioned that it's open on the southeast side. Well, there it is. There's not much left to the southeastern portion of it. And just the northern edge, about a 20 to 30 mile area with some very heavy rainfall right there as it moves its way toward the north now and eventually off toward the northeast. And you can see it's just parallel with Brunswick, Georgia, about 50 miles southeast of Savannah at this point. There's still a lot of hurricane warnings up from the Carolina coastline all the way down to still just north of Daytona Beach. Well, much more in our forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. Manatee, Sarasota, and Charlotte counties were all under a tropical storm watch as Matthew approached Florida. 2 of those school districts remained open today, while 1 closed. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo joins us now with the reasoning behind Manatee County's decision to cancel classes. Dwayne?
Well, Scott, the school district's move to close schools came after Governor Scott and Manatee County EOC declared a state of emergency. And most importantly, they say the decision was made to save lives.
For Sarasota students and parents, there was mixed reactions on schools being open on Friday.
I mean, if the schools in Manatee are closed, then I think every other school should be closed.
I would have had no problem with us being closed if it was needed, but I'm glad to see that the school stayed open.
The school district saying in a statement that with Hurricane Matthew expected to have minimal impact on Sarasota County, the decision was made to continue classes as scheduled. But it was a different story for Manatee County. The county's Emergency Operations Center declared a local state of emergency and requested the school district open 4 schools as shelters for local residents.
Local emergency management made the decision that they wanted people who lived in mobile homes to have a place to go. And when we open a school as a shelter, that precludes us from having school.
Chrissy Oliveira, a mother of 2, agrees.
People need to be safe, evacuate if you need to. If you're in a mobile home, you need to be out of that, especially with hurricane force winds.
And with hotels on the Suncoast nearly or fully booked, the district was asked to do more.
Eventually, the state came to us and asked us to open up a fish shelter, which was Braden River High School, and that was opened up specifically to cater to people who were needing to evacuate from the East Coast.
The school district most recently closed school due to weather during Hurricane Hermine.
But that was primarily because of flooding, water, and so forth. And it was more immediate because it was more here in Manatee County.
But different circumstances played a factor this time around.
It was anticipated to be a wind event. And the other thing that made it much different was we were receiving evacuees from other parts of the state.
I think they did a great job in preparing for the hurricane, and in the future I believe they should just keep doing what they're doing. It's better to over-prepare than under-prepare.
Now the district is currently looking at the calendar to provide makeup days for students. Scott, back to you.
All right, Dwayne, thank you. Before shelters across the Suncoast closed today, a group of first responders decided to repurpose storm relief donations for Manatee County's less fortunate. Instead of dumping the items, the county's new community paramedic unit decided to bring about 75 pillows, 200 blankets from the special needs shelter in Lakewood Ranch to Turning Points, a local organization that helps the homeless. Turning Points plans to split those items between its one-stop center and its annual Homeless Veterans Service Event month next month. Gas has been in high demand across the Suncoast since Wednesday as East Coast evacuees and locals tried to prepare in anticipation of the storm. Workers at the Costco gas station at the Sarasota Square Mall say they sold 8,000 more gallons than their daily average yesterday. And a few stations in Ellenton started the day with no fuel at all. But they've all since received deliveries and are back or close to normal operating supplies. The state is still working to increase the number of trucks moving fuel from ports to various locations in response to Hurricane Matthew. In other news tonight, Donald Trump facing scrutiny from both sides of the aisle this evening after previously unaired footage from 2005 was recently obtained by the Washington Post. The video and audio is from a taping of the TV show Access Hollywood. Trump speaking in vulgar terms about his pursuit of a married woman and bragging about how his celebrity status allows him to get away with groping women.
I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the do anything.
The Trump campaign issuing a statement after the video was published saying in part, quote, "This was locker room banter. Bill Clinton has said far worse to me on the golf course. I apologize if anyone was offended." Hillary Clinton tweeted tonight that Trump's comments in the tape are horrific, and House Speaker Paul Ryan said in a statement that he was sickened by what he heard. Trump will no longer be attending a rally in Ryan's home state of Wisconsin tomorrow and instead will prepare for Sunday's debate. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with more on Hurricane Matthew, plus a Bradenton police officer going above and beyond the call of duty. Now he's given new hope to a family that needed it. And how a Mote marine scientist is being honored in a very big way.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new adventure. This week on Animal Outtakes, preserving and protecting our seabirds. Learn how you can help. Plus, Kids and Critters goes down on the farm with a couple of pigs. And just wait until you meet our Dog of the Week. Watch Animal Outtakes every week on ABC7.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good. Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation, and everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts, and 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Well, one of the many impacts of Hurricane Matthew is no high school football games tonight. There was one down in Charlotte County. Lemon Bay was playing at home, but otherwise all of them were either canceled or postponed until tomorrow. So that's why there's no Football Friday Night show tonight.
It's Football Saturday.
It's just Bob and I having some fun.
Interesting. You know, the story is, though, a lot of people are saying it's not as bad as it could have been, obviously. And the National Hurricane Center, when it's talking about forecasting and putting up these warnings, they have to have a little timeline there. It has to be 48 hours in advance. They put the watch out, you know, and 36 hours for the warning. And the reason why they do that is because that's how much time the managers, city managers, county managers, whatever, need to evacuate people in time before the heavy winds get there. It's a catch-22, really, because the storm itself stayed off in the water for the most part as far as the heavy rain, or I should say winds go. And so they didn't get as bad as what it could have been for the most part. But South Carolina may see it, although the storm is weakening somewhat. They're still getting hit by some very heavy rainfall, and a little bit of storm surge, too, could be a big problem. Although the winds are lessening up, the storm surge will still be moving pretty good, and it will still be high as a result of that water just gathering near the center. Lakewood Ranch webcam showing a pretty nice sunset tonight, albeit different kinds of colors out there. I'll tell you, we had some purple skies, orange skies, red skies. Norm getting this one. Very nice shot looking out over Sarasota Bay. And then this one coming from Venice. Kimberly Slade getting this, and interesting looking clouds there with that nice purple. And Dave Levy. Yeah, Dave Levy. Chicago Cubs fan, I understand. Getting that shot right there. We are looking at this right now opened up a little bit, which means that it's not nearly as organized as it once was. In fact, it's almost void of rain there in the south and southeastern portion of this center, and all the rain to the north now. And they've had a lot of reports, storm reports, from Charleston southward all the way down to Savannah and even in Jacksonville recently, with trees down, mainly trees down, with these tropical storm force winds already moving on into South Carolina and Georgia throughout this evening. It doesn't appear that any hurricane force winds sustained are on Georgia's coast, although very close there. This is where the 110-mile-an-hour winds are located now. The storm center continues to push off toward basically the north and will get picked up, we think, by a frontal system that will eventually carry it off a little bit further off to the east. But there are still hurricane warnings in effect from just north of Daytona Beach all the way through South Carolina and into parts of North Carolina tonight as a result of this system really may not make the break to the right before it makes landfall. We'll see how that plays out. 83 degrees. It's warm. It's muggy, though. The humidity makes it feel like about 90. The dew point temperature way up there at 75. We are looking for drier air to slide in, though, tomorrow. 86 the high, 1 degree below average, and no rainfall to report today. We had a few brief showers, mainly to the north of us. Well, there it goes. Matthew now leaving Florida, hammering Georgia, South Carolina, and possibly on into North Carolina. There's that dry air I mentioned. It may slide in for just a couple of days before some of this moisture comes back our way. It could come back our way by midweek next week, but more and more the solutions are very weak in terms of a weak storm system coming back toward the Bahamas by Wednesday of next week. But the color-enhanced satellite imagery showing it's a rather ragged-looking hurricane right now, not nearly as symmetrical as it once was when it was moving through the Bahamas just about 24 hours ago, and or I should say about 36 hours ago. And there's Charleston right there. They're going to continue to see tropical storm force winds and the possibility of hurricane force winds through the night and into tomorrow morning. The latest on it, north at 12, that's where it's moving, and the top winds at 105 with gusts as high as 125. The forecast path and track continue to loop it back around, but I mentioned earlier at the top of the newscast that some models are suggesting it may get picked up by the front and just kind of become extra tropical as it moves off into the Atlantic, while others, the reliable models, push it down here as just a remnant low pushing off toward the southwest. Now, we still have a month and a half to go or so before the official end of the hurricane season. The cold's kind of dancing out here, which will move toward the Bermuda. And we still have the possibility of other systems developing. The next name up, by the way, is Otto. You see what happens with Nicole. It goes down south and says, nah, I'm going to go back north. And there it goes toward Bermuda as a tropical storm. And it looks like for us, water temperatures remain warm throughout much of the southwest Atlantic and throughout the Gulf of Mexico. We need a really strong cold front to move through to kind of shut down the Gulf as far as a breeding ground for these storms, but it hasn't happened quite yet. And there it is. The next storm up will be Otto, followed by Paula, and then Richard, and hopefully we won't have to go any further than that. But we could still see a couple of storms before the season officially ends November 30th. Low tide upcoming. We just had it. High tide will be at 4:32. And the forecast tonight, not a 60% chance for storms, but about a 6% chance. Mostly cloudy and breezy. We'll see winds out of the northwest, anywhere from 10 to 20. Then the extended forecast calling for a nice day on Sunday, and temperatures cooling down a little bit. Low 70s for lows both on Monday morning and Tuesday morning. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. A family of 5 suddenly left jobless and homeless after coming here from the east coast of Florida. But their hope was quickly restored when a Bradenton police officer went out of his way to get them back on their feet, taking them out for pizza and getting them a room at a motel. ABC7 photojournalist Bart Delarmy shows us their story.
I just happened to look over to my left. I saw a family sitting on the side of one of our convenience stores. The mother had her hand, her face in her hands, and her, looking down. I pulled up. I rolled down my window. I asked if they were okay. The mom looked at me and said, "No, we're not okay." They seemed like a legit family who literally thought they were coming over here from West Palm Beach for a better beginning. But once they got here, that was just taken off the plate. So then it was like, now what do we do? We're stuck.
I was literally ready to get my kids up and in my life because I couldn't provide for them, and I felt like I wasn't worth a good parent. I didn't think I was a good parent. I couldn't make it, and I just wanted my kids to be safe.
Give you guys a buzz, make sure everything's kind of going good on Monday to make sure to see what happens over there.
Okay. We were stuck. We were literally homeless on the streets with kids for a couple of hours until this nice officer decided to come through the parking lot where we were sitting at and said hello. We want to stay together as a family, and you know, I can't praise him enough. It's gonna make me cry. Because if it wasn't for him and his partner, we'd be on the streets.
When the opportunity came up that he was going to be promised a job here, and then you had Hurricane Matthews coming up through, they were like, well, heck, get away from the storm. You've got a job. Let's go. Because they were promised a job and a place to stay and everything. Let's go.
He gave me hope that I can do this, and he gave me the strength and kept telling me just to keep, just keep praying, and things are going to come back, get better for us, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking up right now, and we want somebody to give us a chance in life. That's all we're asking for. High five.
I like you. I got a 2-year-old. I got a 4-year-old. So.
Bradenton's finest right there. Officer Nuttall is now working with the Salvation Army to help make sure the family has a place to stay next week. Great work, officer. A prestigious honor for a Mote Marine Lab senior scientist today at the White House.
Hi, my name is Kevin Main, and I work at Mote Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, Florida.
Dr. Kevin Main, among the Champions of Change honored in Washington. Main talked about her work running Mote's Aquaculture Park in eastern Sarasota County. Mote Marine CEO says he's always recognized Dr. Main's talents.
But now for the White House and the nation to recognize it, it's pretty gratifying for us, and it's a long overdue recognition of Dr. Main.
Dr. Main is one of 36 PhDs on staff at Mote Marine. She joined the lab 15 years ago. Congratulations. A push to extend Florida's voter registration deadline. That's up next. But first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Here's what we're up to after the debate. I feel right now like you would vote for me for vice president.
I frankly think you are probably superior to me. It's just that when Hillary was making a choice, she had a couple of criteria. Looks was a big important thing to her.
Download ABC7's free all-new news app at your app store today. ABC7 News at 7 weeknights. ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5. Monday at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Underactive thyroid may be overdiagnosed in the elderly. We'll have details in Health Smart.
Monday at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
The official salon of ABC7. Loose Salon.
Thank you. My fellow Americans, as your candidate for president, I will make Wing affordable with Spectralite diamonds.
Spectralite diamonds are manufactured in laboratory conditions to equal the finest natural diamonds.
This political message was brought to you by Created Gems and the Bling Party.
Big bling for little change for you.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
A statewide summit against human trafficking held today in Tallahassee. More than 500 law enforcement officers, healthcare workers, state lawmakers, and human trafficking survivors met to talk about how to stop the illegal practice and options for providing proper care to victims. According to the Florida Coalition Against Human Trafficking, the state has one of the highest number of cases of trafficking in the country.
This is very, very serious and affects many, many victims who are being raped multiple times a day. So this is not only plugging our state, our country, but our world.
A new Florida law prohibits people under 18 from being prosecuted for prostitution and makes clear that sexually exploiting a child in prostitution should be viewed as human trafficking. Senator Bill Nelson of Florida and Florida's 10 Democratic U.S. House members are calling on Governor Scott to reconsider his decision not to extend the state's voter registration period. In a letter, the lawmakers thank Governor Scott for his handling of Hurricane Matthew preparations, but say the storm has also made it a challenge for many residents to register by the Tuesday deadline. Scott responded to the initial request from Hillary Clinton's campaign by saying yesterday there's been plenty of time to register. Meantime, South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, a Republican like Scott, has extended that state's deadline because of the storm. And it appears social media has been misled, and so have we. These photos being shared online at the Daytona International Speedway are not current. They're from back in 2009. Track officials released a statement about it today, saying the Speedway did sustain some moderate damage from the hurricane from winds, but no flood damage. The track is okay. Still ahead, we have tonight's winning lotto numbers. That's coming up, and another look at the weekend forecast.
ABC7 News at 7 weeknights.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
ABC7's My Suncoast News app is better than ever with a brand new design that's faster and easier to use. Download our free My Suncoast News app on your mobile device at your app store of choice. Powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2016 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month, complimentary maintenance included. At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Even the youngsters had their dancing shoes on in Lakewood Ranch tonight for Music on Main. The block party held the first Friday of each month, and tonight it was Goodbye Eddie Band, treating the crowd to some great music and pretty good weather out there tonight. By the way, we're still waiting for some of the lotto numbers to come down from the state. We'll have those on our website.
Hopefully I won.
A good weekend ahead, though, right?
A winter week. It's going to be nice, a lot better.
Enjoy it. Thanks for being with us. Good night.